Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
Gigi Hadid, a very famous model, which, I'm sure all of you know, one of the biggest models in the world, decided to take a fancy trip to the Cayman Islands earlier this month, took a private jet, and got arrested. Arrested for weed.
For weed. Ganja, marijuana, THC, whatever you want to call it.
By the way, they call it ganja in the Caymans.
I saw that they... It almost seems like officially they call it ganja.
They call it officially ganja, it seems, and even ganja paraphernalia.
All right.
Who knew?
Well, let's, when in Cayman, do as the Caymans do. So she had some ganja, according to the police, and...
so we should explain
They boarded her private jet.
Yeah, a lot of people think when you have a private jet, you just sail in and you just drive away.
Nope.
Customs gets on the plane, and they decided to do a little searching.
Yes.
Yeah, and when they did the search, you guys, they found a little bit of marijuana in one of the bags.
And they're saying it's ganja and ganja paraphernalia. So she's with a friend, and they arrest both of them, which, it's just a tiny bit of marijuana. But they arrest them.
Right.
And they take them in, and then, they have to decide, what do we do? Do we fight this thing? Do we not fight this thing? So essentially, they pled guilty and paid a fine.
They paid a $1,000 fine, which maybe this is a little background. Marijuana is medicinal ganja. Is legal in Cayman, but I would imagine you probably have to have a prescription from down there.
I'm not sure how that works.
I don't know. But anyway,
I do know that some things on the ballot. No, I don't think recreational is.
No, recreational is definitely not legal.
I'm told it's on the ballot there that they're going to try to legalize it, but it's not now. So they paid a $1,000 fine. There's no conviction on the record. The way it works, I guess, there is that you pay the $1,000 and it just kind of goes away.
Kind of like a ticket.
Kind of like a ticket, but you don't get arrested for a ticket, and she got arrested. So she's out there having a great time in the Caymans and with her friend. And
she's been posting photos down there, and you wouldn't know that this whole drama had gone on. I guess she didn't want to put it out there, but that's the background of what's going on vacation.
She even posted a little video which said, all's well that ends well. So she's, looking like this was just not even a thing. However, I have learned from some people close to Gigi that this actually was really terrible. So like you guys said, the private aircraft had landed, they came on, they searched everything, they found weed in the luggage. But I was told that they actually wanted a bribe to make this go away and had told the girls, look, you pay X amount and we'll just pretend like we never saw this. I'm told that Gigi thought this was super gross and was like, you know what, let's just keep this ethical. You guys want to arrest me? I'll pay a fine. Fine, no problem, but we're not going to be doing a bribe. So that's exactly what had happened, according to Gigi. And also, I was
is she saying that there was marijuana in the luggage?
Yes, and I'm being told that because the private aircraft was registered in Gigi's name, basically all the luggage is her responsibility. And the weed, I'm being told, or the ganja, was not in her luggage. It was in somebody else's luggage. And, of course, Gigi kind of was on the hook for that because the aircraft was in her name.
They arrested both of them. They arrested her and her friend. So that's what's kind of odd here. When you just said that about, that she was allegedly offered a bribe to make it go away, I just thought of something. If Gigi said, no, go through the regular process, to me, here's what that feels like. It feels like she already knew that there's basically a $1,000 fine when she landed, because why would you take a chance after Brittany Griner being in a foreign country and somebody
being in Cayman is
different than
way
Russia.
different than being in Russia.
But if you're not going to roll the dice,
she's rolling the dice financially.
How do you know it's financial? How do you know it's financial? If you are at the airport and they say we're going to arrest you, how do you know the resolution is just going to be financial and not pay that bribe? So what I'm thinking is she knew ahead and in a way gambled and said, look, I'll pay the $1,000, but I'm not paying you. Otherwise,
Maybe she knew that medicinal. Maybe she knew that medicinal is legal there.
Yeah, but Harvey, the bribe allegation, that's very serious, and we've reached out to the police, and the police haven't said anything yet, but I'm sure they're going to probably address it.
Look, they may address it. They may say it's not true. All I'm saying is that if it's true, and I have no idea, but this is what apparently I know Charlie's dealing with, and it's a good source. And so if this is what Gigi did, and she said, no, I'll roll the dice, she must have known ahead that it didn't involve jail, because you wouldn't take that chance.
No, I agree with you. She probably did know that, whether it be from someone else's experience or just that she knew what the laws were.
But
some people do that. By the way, some people do that when they travel.
Money.
Some people do that when they're traveling someplace and they know that they're going to either have marijuana with them or that they want to get it there. They look up what the law is there.
Absolutely.
It's actually done.
I mean, the only thing that's weird here's what is weird to me about this. It's like, that makes sense to me that she would check ahead and everything else. Right. But she just brought a tiny amount of marijuana. If you're going to do this and you're there for 10 days,
you're probably going to get it there.
Then why bring just a little bit on the suit?
Well, maybe it was just left in the suitcase.
Okay, we're never going to solve this. That's it.
Hey, Delray Payne from Cleveland, Ohio. And yes, I agree with you guys there. It's like, didn't you learn from the whole Britney situation not to bring marijuana or ganja?
We're going with ganja.
We're going to go with ganja. We're gonna go ganja. Like, if you was going to do that, just buy it there. Don't risk your reputation and all that stuff.
Well, you know, and I will say, the other thing is, she may have miscalculated in thinking, okay, I'm in a private jet. They're not going to get in the plane, and they're not going to look at all the luggage and everything else.
Right.
But that happened. Okay, we're going to move on to a story we broke yesterday.
About Ariana Grande's pending divorce from Dalton Gomez, that they've been separated since January, is what we told you yesterday. But now we know what went wrong. And really, they are, I guess you'd say, victims of the pandemic.
They're a COVID casualty.
Yeah, or at least COVID lockdown casualty. Let's put it that way. Because you got to remember, they got together back in 2020.
July of 2020, right in the middle of the lockdown.
And life was much, much different then from what it is now. And what we're told is it really, once the pandemic ended, once the lockdown ended, it became painfully obvious how different their lives are.
But they're together, when they are together in the same house, and she can't work and he can't work, and she's not doing engagements and there are no paparazzi or anything like that.
They got along great.
They got along great, and they were each other's comfort. They were each other's friends. They were each other's, romantic interests. They were everything to each other. And then all of a sudden the pandemic is over, and then she...
Back to work,
going to engagements, paparazzi following them around.
Just their daily lives made it obvious to, certainly to Dalton, how much he does not understand this world. They would go out everywhere. They'd have security guards with him.
And apparently, based on our story, apparently he was sort of shocked by like, whoa, why do we need security? I don't know who to throw my side eye more to here, whether it's Dalton for such a silly, naive thinking, or Ariana Grande, who I guess you could argue was more short-sighted here than perhaps he was. Look, the moral of the story here is celebrities need to date their own kind, unfortunately. That's kind of my conclusion on this.
Fabian.
Because look, the normies they're not prepared for this lifestyle. That's just, look, I know he's a big shot realtor or whatever, but in the grand scheme of things, he's kind of a nobody. She's a huge, huge, huge star. And the fact that they got married so quickly, and by the way, Ariana Grande seems very primed to get married quickly. Remember, she was engaged to Pete Davidson and may, in fact, have married him if not for Mac Miller's death. So I don't really know what went wrong here, but I think most people could have seen this coming because it just did not seem, it was quick. And it did not seem like a good pairing based on their lifestyles and their status. And I know you guys kind of poo-poo my status backing sometimes, but getting together with your people in your status, that matters, especially when you become an A-list celebrity.
I see your point.
I'm actually going to totally disagree with that. And I think it's more problematic when two celebrities get together, and I'll tell you why. Because when people want to be a celebrity, there is a tremendous amount of ego involved in that. And when they have ego invested and they want to be at a certain level, if their spouse gets higher than them, it creates problems. If they never
But hold on,
rise up-
hold on. That's a reality in any relationship. Even if you have two people who are not celebrities, and one person suddenly is way more successful than the other.
Well, it depends on the person, but I'm saying this is an inherently ego-driven
The real
profession.
issue here is about the pandemic and about being under lockdown, and that during that period was a much different lifestyle for everyone, right?
It was.
And so if you get together in that environment,
Don't get married because you got to see what it's like when
on
you're in the outside world.
Exactly.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin O'Neill. I'm joining you all from Los Angeles, California. I know we're all really excited for Ariana and a little sad about Dalton, but thank you. Next. Sometimes things don't work out, and it looks like Ariana is on her way to the next one of her 7 rings.
Oh, my God.
He worked them all in there. He worked it all in there.
You did. That's very Elizabeth Taylor to me. We are taking a break.
All right, when we come back, Kylie Jenner and Jordyn Woods getting back together. Friendship on again. Everyone's happy, right? Not everyone in Jordyn's world, who actually, this video you're looking at here, they take issue with something that is happening there, and they think it is a bad sign for Jordyn. They're basically saying, run in the other direction. Kylie Jenner might be celebrating having her bestie back, Jordyn Woods, after they're falling out, almost 4 years ago?
Yep.
Just about 4 years ago.
Yep. This is over Tristan Thompson.
But, you know, as we told you, they got back together, had some dinner. This is them walking out of their sushi.
Can I just say, please?
Yes,
Fabulous sushi place, by the way.
Fabulous sushi
Just
place.
amazing.
On Sunset. Come on.
In a mini mall.
Next time you're in Hollywood, Harvey will take you down there.
I've only been once.
But while Kylie might be happy and Jordyn might be happy, people who are fans of Jordyn and people around Jordyn are a little skeptical, to put it lightly.
And part of it has to do with the video.
Yes, because as you saw when they were walking out of that restaurant, who was in the lead? Who was walking, as they say, 2 paces behind?
I think this is ridiculous.
I can close my eyes and answer this question. Kylie.
But that's ridiculous.
No,
Yes.
no.
I mean-
behind was, I said who was walking behind. It was
Oh, no, and the
Jordyn.
lead was Kylie.
And
And,
the lead was
and that's
Kylie.
why Jordyn fans are upset. Jordyn
Come
fans,
on.
they're
Yeah.
using this to basically show, right, that at one point in Jordyn's life, she was just Kylie's shadow walking behind Kylie, and now she is her own woman. She's happy. People have even said that she is better and happier without Kylie.
Yeah, but
and not to let Kylie walk in front of her.
But Lauren, Jordyn didn't really have a brand when she was Kylie's best friend before.
Other than being Kylie's best friend.
Other than being Kylie's best friend. She now has a brand. She's in fashion. She's got a name for herself. So I'm not saying they're on equal footing in terms of
Certainly
success
they're
and
not.
everything.
Right.
But Jordyn's her own person now.
Exactly, and that's what they're saying, is that they're afraid that Jordyn is now going to have to sublimate herself.
So what you're saying is that when they walked out of the restaurant, Jordyn should have gone right in front of her like that.
Listen,
side by
baby,
side.
you never let the girl
Should've
show
been
you
walking
up on the
side by
runway.
side.
No, seriously though, what I think what people are insinuating is Jordyn was doing things when she was Kylie's friend, but a lot of people got behind Jordyn and started to care about her and push her to the forefront, including brands. When Chloe and you know, some people online began to attack Jordyn, and people felt like it was unfair. Kylie never did that, but there are Kylie fans that are warning Kylie to stay away from Jordyn. You know, the adverse, basically saying, hey, you can't trust her. It brought your family, you know, so much strife during the time that everything was happening. I don't know. All of this is just crazy to me because Tristan is just at the birthday parties like nothing happened.
Right.
So I think that we should allow them to do whatever that they think needs to be done. It is their friendship, and we should just mind our business.
Hi, Tanea from Hartford, Connecticut. I think that is cool that Jordyn Woods and Kylie are friends again. Like, you always should just be friends with your friends. It's better to have friends than enemies. So good to see, love to see both of them prosper, and especially Jordyn Woods. Cool.
Yeah. God, that sushi is
Let me
so
tell you this.
good. Oh, it is really.
We go out to dinner. We're walking next to each other when we walk out of the restaurant.
You can walk in front of me. I'm fine
Even
with
better.
it.
That's even better, actually. That's cool.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Who's paying, though?
You're paying if you're walking in front.
All right, moving on now to Sofia Vergara and Joe Manganiello, who are calling it off. Another one bites the dust, as they say. 7 years together and 7 years married, and they announced that they are indeed heading for divorce. and seems like that they've had some time to think about this. Joe is in New York. He was shooting a movie, obviously before the strike.
I think he's in L.A. today.
Is he back in L.A.?
He was at Gold's Gym this morning.
Oh, no, that video was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, excuse me.
But anyway, Sofia, on the other hand, seems to be enjoying the single life because she is over in Italy. She's been there with a friend or two, celebrating her 51st birthday.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of when some of the red flags were raised, because she's been over there for quite a while celebrating her birthday. A lot of people were kind of wondering, okay, where's Joe been? And then we learned that they released a statement yesterday. After 7 years, they've decided to go their separate ways. And it kind of started to make sense, because then there's reports out that they had been spending a lot of time apart while they kind of navigated this new chapter. They never had any kids. Remember, it was a quick engagement, quick marriage. I think they got together in 2014, married in 2015. But they have stuck together as one of the biggest couples in Hollywood for quite a while.
Yeah, you know, the Daily Mail had an interesting article today, and I'm not trying to co-sign on this because we don't know, but Joe Manganiello is sober, and Sofia, she's posed, you know, a lot on Instagram, you know, holding wine or whatever.
Enjoys a glass of wine.
Yeah, and they're saying that that's part of it, where somebody who is, you know, really working in their sobriety, it's hard for them to be around people, you know, who drink.
It's possible. And
it's possible. I don't know if it's true or not.
But has he been
usually?
But has he been sober the whole time that they were together?
I don't know the answer to that.
Because that wouldn't hold as much water to me because then they've been together for 7 years.
Yeah, I don't know that it may not be the sole thing. It may not even be anything. It was just an interesting article.
It may be one of the main reasons that maybe broke the straw that broke the camel's back, because when you and your significant other do share a common interest, going out, going to parties and things like that, and one of them doesn't want to do that anymore, then there is that source of contention of, like, she may always be out with her girlfriends and things like that drinking, and he may not have liked it, or vice versa. So
yeah, it's true. I mean, again, we don't know, but they had a 7-year run. It
was a good one.
Hey, I'm Pastor Sean Mercier from The Gospel Truth, the creator of the Gospel Truth Unscripted podcast out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I just remember being introduced to Sofia Vergara back in 2008, Tyler Perry Meets the Browns. And I think that her and Joe should try to mend the relationship and try to fix it. It's easier to leave, but it's harder to stay. Shout out to my inspiration, Tyler Perry.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe they did try and it didn't work. So it's their lives.
I don't know. Maybe they've been trying for a while.
By the way,
they've reached this point.
Congratulations, Lindsay Lohan.
Yes, she had her baby, a baby boy. His name is Louis Shamus.
Interesting, by the way, not Louis Lohan Shamus.
Yes, no hyphenate. It's an Arabic name that means shield or protector. She and
her husband
and Bader. She and Bader had the baby. We don't know exactly when he was born, but
it was recent. We know it was recent.
It was recent, and
I just remember when we had her in the office.
Dubai,
remember when she was in the office, and we did. It was kind of funny where she was just in the bullpen and she pitched a story.
She pitched a video of herself.
It was funny.
Yeah, she said we got Lindsay Lohan out at.
Right.
She was buying cereal.
Right, and this is when she was kind of off the rails. And she's grown up, she's had a baby, she's married, so congratulations.
Really gone through all the stages in the history, like in the timeline of TMZ.
Absolutely.
She's been through it all. So.
And she's come out well.
Congrats.
Okay, we are taking a break.
All right, when we come back, the women who were at Miranda Lambert's concert really ticked her off because they were taking photos. Well, we're gonna be joined by one of those women. And we have a new perspective on where they were when they were taking the photo. Who was really in the wrong here? You will find out when we come back.
Changed my opinion.
Miranda Lambert's fans are going to be thinking twice about taking photos at her show after what happened in Las Vegas during her residency over the weekend. We showed you, you may have seen this, that she
stopped her show.
Stopped the show. She was in the middle of about to start a song and then stopped it because she noticed something in the audience that
that pissed her off.
Really did. Let's watch this.
Something bound to fall apart. I'm gonna stop right here for a sec, Danny. I'm sorry. These girls are worried about their selfie and not listening to the song. It's pissing me off a little bit.
So a lot of people went after Miranda, saying that, you know, people have a right to take pictures. Why are you doing this? You're not the selfie police. And then the people who took those selfies posted
the photos.
So now there's
so now
a
you get the perspective, right, of where they were, where Miranda was, and how it may have impacted the rest of the audience, if that was even really the issue, because it's not really clear what was really annoying Miranda. Was it on behalf of the other people in the audience or just for Miranda herself? Well, one of the women who was in that group celebrating something, I guess, or maybe they're just all Miranda Lambert fans and we're in Vegas, Adela Kalin, and she is joining us right now. Adela, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hey, Adela.
Hi, how are you?
We're good. So the first thing I want to know is, how did you guys react when Miranda Lambert called you out in front of the crowd?
The first couple of moments, it felt embarrassing. It felt like I was being back at school and the teacher said, sit down, and like me and my other girlfriends did something that annoyed her.
So did you guys immediately sit down? Were you, I mean, you said you were embarrassed at first. Did you sit down?
We were in the process of sitting back down. We just finished taking our group picture. And then suddenly we realized that as really as I was turning and sitting down on the bench, the concert is stopping, something is happening. And we're like, oh, this is about us. Oh, my goodness.
So there are people who are looking now at the pictures you posted, and they're saying, well, wait a minute. They are blocking people behind them, and also they're turning their backs.
Also, clearly there's a flash.
Yeah,
used, right?
and they're turning their backs on the person they came to see. So I'm wondering how you react to both of those things.
One, we weren't blocking the people behind us because we were in the first VIP bench. And at that theater, the VIP benches are down below the audience. And even the second row VIP benches are on top of us. So when we stand, you can just see the top of our heads. And before the concert started, we really wanted to have a group picture, but the light was very bad. We couldn't take one. And we thought, you know, we are so close to the satellite stage. At some point, Miranda Lambert is going to get on that stage. We can take the great group picture with her in the background. When she got on that stage, we realized, oh, let's go ahead and take that group picture. We asked a lady to take our picture. And the lady took a couple of pictures. And she said, oh, you need to split into two because
you're blocking
we can't see Miranda Lambert. So then we split into two. She took a couple more pictures. As we were sitting down, then the concert stopped.
How long would you say the whole process was that you're standing up and taking photos?
It was so fast, 20 seconds, no more than 30.
I think from Miranda's standpoint, and again, I wasn't standing on the stage with her, but looking at the perspective now of where you were and where she was, do you think maybe the flash is what distracted her and then maybe threw her off? Because you're right, you can see there that it wouldn't be about blocking people, and Miranda would know that it's not so much that they were blocking people. Was she really upset that you weren't watching her, or did you distract her
with the flash?
With the flash, and so she had to say
I
something.
don't think she could see the flash because we were standing, and the lady taking the picture, she was like squatting down on the bench, looking up at us. And the flash it was just a flash on the phone. I think I learned afterwards that Miranda Lambert sometimes does get bothered when someone in the audience takes pictures. I think it just plays more into that.
Okay, last question. Are you still a Miranda Lambert fan?
I won't buy another ticket to go to her concert.
Wow.
Ooh. Are you a country music fan?
I like her music.
You got another
if the
artist
melody
for her?
sounds...
I do.
Oh, who are you going to recommend?
Blake Shelton.
Blake. I'm pretty sure Blake doesn't care what you do in the audience.
No. They were married. That's what I mean.
Right. Okay.
Okay. It's just a thing.
Just as a thing. All right. Okay. All right. Well, Adela, thank you so much for being with us. And
Thank you.
Good luck next time you're in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And good luck in the selfies, too.
You know, some artists don't allow you to, in Vegas. Like, I saw Bruno Mars. Was in that same theater?
Well, I think they
No, he's at a different.
Some people confiscate cell phones.
And he doesn't want, and he makes a point of it at the beginning of the show to say, the reason I took your phones is I want everyone to pay attention to the show, and let's all have a good time. We're going to party in here. I don't want everybody worried about taking photos.
Well, nobody gets mad at Bruno Mars for saying that. Why get mad at Miranda Lambert?
Well, she didn't actually take the phones.
I know, but like she
maybe
said,
she will going forward.
She's well known to not like that, apparently.
Right. She should just take the phones.
Okay, we're done with this.
All right.
We're taking a break.
When we come back, Tori Spelling talking about her split from Dean and also about those photos of her staying at a motel reportedly that was $100 a night. Why would she do that? She has some answers, a very strong answer. Has to do with her kids. Welcome back to TMZ Live. Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott are on the outs. He really shocked everyone when he posted something basically saying that they had mutually decided they were getting divorced, post that last month, and then deleted it, so we're uncertain whether they were really splitting up. Well, now we know they are because Tori has been seen with their kids staying without Dean at a motel.
$100 a night motel with 4 kids.
Right.
And I guess one of the things that struck us is, why isn't she at the house if she's got the kids?
Right.
But for whatever reason, she's not. She's, clearly having enormous money problems.
Right.
And we got her mom out. Well, we'll get to her mom in a minute.
Right, because Tori is now speaking out for the first time about the status of her marriage or the lack of marriage, and also answering a question about that motel stay and why she did that. Here's what she had to say as she was leaving Target, doing a little shopping.
Were you blindsided by Dean's post?
Stop here.
Is it safe to say that you might be getting a divorce?
I always look better on my own.
Okay, well, I mean, have you been in contact with him at all? There's been obviously a lot mentioned in the media recently about you staying in this motel. Why were you staying in like a cheap motel?
Are you a parent? You know you would do whatever you can for your kids, right?
Of course, I'm not a parent yet.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
We'll understand when you are.
I'll tell you, when you watch this video, the fact that she wasn't answering anything from this photog, and when she was triggered by that, you just saw how fierce she was.
Yeah.
That, yes, I'm going to stay at a $100 motel if
Because
that's all I can
what
afford
I have to do.
She
And
was
you know what?
fierce about that.
I admire that.
Harvey,
That's
do you
great.
think that was, I think that could be a shot, either, like you said, she was just triggered by the question, or that was a shot at either Dean, because I don't know where Dean is throughout all this. Apparently they had to leave their home because it had too much mold in it, but he's clearly living somewhere, so it's weird that she would be living with the 5 kids in the motel. Or this could be a shot at her mom, Candy, because that's her parent, and maybe she feels like she's not looking out for her.
And therein lies the mystery here.
Yeah.
That we got Candy out
last week, right?
A week ago, and specifically asked her that question. She was coming out of her maze in Beverly Hills, and asked her whether she would help support Tori, given her circumstances, and she said yes. And so now the question, and by the way, Candy Spelling is fabulously wealthy.
Right.
Her late husband was Aaron Spelling.
TV
They lived
legend,
in a 56,000 square foot house in Holmby Hills that they sold for, I think, $85 million. Not to mention all the money he made from Dynasty and all the other shows. And so, look, I'm not saying what Candy should do because I'm not part of that family, but she had said I would help. And this has always been an issue where Tori and Candy have had this kind of fractured relationship that is terrible and then gets better. So I don't know the answer.
By the way,
to this.
I don't want to. The other thing that question that clearly triggered her about the divorce, because she didn't. Those were the only 2 things she answered.
Right.
And that was definitely a shot at Dean. I've always been better on my own. I've always looked better on my own.
Yeah, that was for sure a shot at Dean. But I mean, obviously this is super messy situations. But the people that you really got to feel bad for are those 5 kids. No.
Yeah, no, this is a terrible situation. And again, I'm not saying that don't stay in a $100 motel. That's not what we're saying. But
no, you do. And actually, I really admired that from Tori, who also understands clearly what people are saying and thinking about it. And she doesn't care.
Right.
I mean, she's walking out of Target
You
and
could
she's
just-
like, look, I'm doing what I have to do.
You could feel it.
My name is Daryl Webb. I'm from Pompano Beach, Florida. But Tori Spelling, I think, is the best thing for her. Since that marriage has started, it's been seems from the outside looking in, a very toxic relationship. Like her finances have gotten worse. It's kind of crazy when your mom has more money than you could ever ask a thing for, and the mom doesn't really help. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be the best thing for her to separate and divorce from Dean, because it seems like a very toxic and a very unhealthy relationship for herself and the kids.
And I hope she gets back on her feet for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we're moving on.
To a guy who is very much on his feet, and a lot of people thought getting married. That would be Bill Gates. Earlier this year, we found out that Bill was dating again, has a girlfriend. Her name is Paula Hurd, and some photos recently surfaced of them out and about. I think they were in New York. I'm not sure where they were, but she had a ring on her left ring finger, and people were thinking that
they're engaged.
Yeah, that Bill Gates was going the way of Bezos.
As it turns out, they are not engaged. We were actually told by a rep for Bill Gates that she's had this ring for years and it's not symbolizing marriage or anything like that. But you guys bring up a good point about Jeff Bezos. He's getting married. We don't know if Bill Gates is invited or not, but do you think if Bill Gates goes to that wedding that maybe his girlfriend is saying, hey, you know, Jeff's getting married, maybe it's time we settle down?
It's not really the same situation. We should say that
Jacob, it could be that she doesn't necessarily want to get married,
and
right?
we should say the ring,
Jacob.
That's a fair point, but you know,
No,
usually when you go to weddings, love is in the
wants to marry
air.
him, right?
Yeah, well, hey, when you go to weddings, love is in the air. That's usually where people get set up, and maybe, you know, they're sitting next to each other. They watch this beautiful ceremony, and they think, hey, you know, or maybe she's nudging him a little bit, or maybe he's nudging her.
Oh yeah, why is she nudging him?
Jacob is at the age where
it works both ways.
Jacob is at the age where the nudging happens. Both ways where the nudging happens.
Your words,
Bill
not
Gates,
mine.
Bill Gates and Joyce are not at that age where the nudging happens. So it's just different.
Although, how hysterical if she catches the bouquet.
Hello, guys. Henry from the sometimes beautiful San Jose, California here. Where's the fire? Why is this a billionaire thing that, you know, they need to get married right away? I don't understand. I guess you get married and then have a kid with them and then figure out if it works. If we've learned anything from Ariana and Dalton, that marriage, you know, money doesn't buy happiness, but it'll buy you Ariana Grande for about a year, too.
I don't even know where this is going. I feel like we should stop it. It's just going to get worse.
That was actually pretty funny. Okay, there are three things I want to say, and none of them are appropriate.
Good.
We are going to take a break.
Exactly. Right in the nick of time. When we come back, Ice Cube talking about Kanye and their feud that started when Kanye kind of threw him under the bus, saying that Ice Cube was the one who turned him on to anti-Semitism. They've squashed their differences now, and Ice Cube is revealing how they did that, what their conversation was like, and has Ice Cube forgiven him? Ice Cube was big mad at Kanye, and for good reason. I don't know if you recall back at the end of 2022, when Kanye was on his anti-Semitic rant everywhere he went. While he was on Drink Champs, he actually invoked Cube's name and said that he was the one who turned him on to hating Jewish people. And Ice Cube was immediately like, I don't know what he's talking about. He just denied that completely. But then last month, they got together. Kanye and Cube, they met at Ice Cube's house. And at the end of the meeting, it seemed like everything was kosher, if you will. So what was discussed and what is Ye's state of mind these days? Cube was talking to Piers Morgan on his Talk TV program last night. Here's what he had to say.
We were always cool. You know, he spoke my name without really explaining what he meant. And I just really couldn't leave that statement out there without, you know, he never explained what he meant. And so I had to, you know, kind of rebut that. But since then we've talked, and I think Ye understands that generalizing will always get you in more hot water than being very specific. I think he's, you know, learned a lot from this past year, and, you know, hopefully he'll come out better on the other side.
I gotta say, I mean, I hear what he's saying
it
about.
sounds like they had a conversation that what Cube said to him was basically, if you were pissed at this guy or this person or that person, then say that. Don't turn it into all Jewish people are doing something.
No, but here's my issue with it. That yes, it's true that when you generalize, you typically get in trouble, but that doesn't mean you still don't feel it. And there was some reason that he didn't say it once, twice, three times, but numerous times, you know, to DEFCON, to Jews and all. And so, yes, it's true that generalizing can get you in trouble, but that doesn't take away the feeling
there
that
are two
somebody
things that
has
happen.
to
There's the
say it in the first
generalizing,
place.
and then there was the level of hate that he took things to.
Yeah, I mean, if you
even if it was just that specific person, and he had said those things about going to debt, like that's taking it to another level.
If you change the, you know, the race or the religion or whatever else to whatever you want, project that and think about how you'd receive it.
The things that Kanye said, you've got deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars that are being canceled. So there were real ramifications here. And then to be roped into that situation, if you're Ice Cube, you've got to understand why he would be upset at his friend Kanye.
Yeah, but again, there are two issues here. One, that he got roped in. But the second is, it feels like, yeah, he's kind of learned. He learned about generalizing and everything else. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
No, he said what he said, and he stood by what he said.
It's also different to hear it from someone else instead of hearing it directly from Kanye.
Well, how about hearing it from a Jewish person?
No, I meant hearing Kanye say, listen, I was wrong to... Hearing his friend say, oh, he's learned from it is different from, as we were saying the other day, that Kanye has not said anything about it. He's just gone quiet.
No, I get it, because he got in trouble for it. But the question is, does he hold those beliefs and just realize I got to keep them inside? Or has he somehow had a revelation?
My name is Real. I'm from Chicago. And I just feel like Ice Cube, you know, I feel like he got his cell phone number. So if they supposed to be cool, like, I just feel like everything not for the open. Like, if you cool with this person, you can give them a call, DM them, you know, contact them. Like, they can eat.
I think that's what they did at Ice Cube's house last month. But Ice Cube was doing an interview, and I'm sure that it came up as it should.
Okay, we are going to take a break.
All right, when we come back, Jerry O'Connell is a hero in the face of a dangerous fire that broke out in Malibu. He didn't just take photos. He jumped in and helped the fire department. You will see it and hear why Jerry did it when we come back. So Jerry O'Connell just sitting there hanging out with his kids when suddenly a fire breaks out in front of him. A food truck in Malibu caught fire, and it got worse than just the truck. It spread to a field nearby, and you know, in Malibu, they're always
Malibu is burned down in the
lookout
past.
so many times.
Yeah, and it's hot here.
So the fire department was called, and they did show up, but Jerry O'Connell and a few other citizens jumped in and did their best to make sure that this fire did not spread beyond that small area in the field.
Jerry actually got a fire extinguisher from somebody and tried to help
Climbed over a fence, got a fire extinguisher.
Before the fire department got there, he was a good Samaritan to the core and helped. By the way,
he also grabbed a propane tank.
Yeah,
there were a couple of propane tanks
so it
that were
wouldn't
near.
explode. We called him during our morning meeting today, and here's what he said.
It was crazy, everybody. It was a real fire, and we have them out here all the time. And Sunday was just one of those days where it's just hot, and you look up at the hillside, and all you can think is like, please nobody throw a cigarette out the window, please. And we just pulled up to the corner of Mulholland and Las Virgenes, and it was happening. It was crazy.
Very cool. I mean, look, the fact that, again, people getting involved like that, I know they always say you don't do that at home, but look.
Well, you just got to understand, Malibu is like a tinderbox in that area.
And you can even see in the photo that it's very dry, that there's dry grass there, and if that starts spreading.
I covered the Malibu fire, and it was unbelievable when I was a reporter at CBS in LA. And it was, Malibu burned to the ground, essentially. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
By the way, it was, I think, early 2000s, Jerry's house, I remember this was in the line of one of those
burn?
wildfires. He, with the help of the fire department, but he stayed there and helped them clear the area around his house, water everything down, and actually ended up saving his house.
Wow.
So
wow.
He's got, that's his thing. He's got firefighting in his bones.
Hey, this is Mike from Philadelphia. Kudos to Jerry for being, you know, the modern day Superman and deciding to help out when a lot of people say stay away from this, but you know what I mean, and it's in our human nature to help people out in situations and times like this. So kudos to him.
Let me just say, Jerry O'Connell is a really good guy.
We should say, by the way,
a good guy.
People in the fire truck were okay. The fire department pulled them out and
of the food truck.
Yes, of the food truck.
What else do you guys want to talk about?
Hey y'all, I'm Valerie. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I just want to say, let Gigi smoke her weed. You know, her baby daddy just released a song that's going to go triple platinum in every Forever 21 dressing room, and she's probably just a little bit stressed. You know what I'm saying?
She does not.
I mean,
she does not look stressed. I will say.
No.
Go back to that picture, Reagan. Does not look stressed.
Yeah.
At all.
Something tells me they found some more ganja.
Maybe.
I think they were okay.
One more.
My name is Gabrielle Noel at Gab Alexa. I'm calling from Brooklyn, and it's baffling that Kylie and Jordyn are back. It's the way Tristan was given so much more grace in that situation than Jordyn was for me. And she may have forgotten, but I have not. And maybe it's PR, I don't know, but that is just wild to me.
But sometimes people bury the hatchet, right?
Right. I don't know.
Okay,
not here for it.
Unconvincing. Okay, we're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, Ricky Martin in the middle of a divorce, but he is still performing, and he got some new backup dancers. His kids joined him on stage. We'll show you the big surprise. Ricky didn't really know what to do. Ricky Martin performed last night in Switzerland, and you know that he and his husband recently announced that they are splitting up, and they said that they're gonna focus on their kids and their family. And apparently that the kids are holding him to that, because during Ricky's show last night, he was performing in Switzerland. His 14-year-old
Matteo and Valentino, 14 years old.
The twins jumped on stage, and I guess they're adding to the performance.
I think it's kind of fun.
It seemed like it was a surprise for Ricky,
I
but
think
they
that's
were
really
having
kind of fun.
And it's nice that there's a reason for him to smile in the middle of the family drama, or at least the drama with.
But it also
his
shows
estranged
that
husband.
the kids love him, and just they're fun. What I love about this is we have seen so many bitter divorces in the last 6 months, where these kids really suffer when these two parents are at war. And I don't know what's going on behind the scenes there, but it looks like these kids are good.
They seem happy.
Yeah, and that's a win. We will see you tomorrow.